1, 2, 3. Hi, so today I'm going to be replacing a speedometer cable on my bike. My speedo cable snapped, and so I had the cable repaired and I'm going to put it back on and just show you the process of all the parts at certain bikes, at least my one. It's a Kawasaki ZX10 Tomcat, a 1990 model. It's a bit older, so the newer ones, most of other ones, could be a bit different in the process. I know some bikes you don't have to take anything apart to get to the speedo cable, in the clocks. My one, however, you've got to take a few parts off to be able to get to the connection for the speedometer. Probably because there's so much fairing around it. And if you're interested, on the speedo cable, the part that went into the wheel itself, this part snapped just where the join was. And it's quite nice, instead of spending too much money and buying a whole new speedo cable, there's a place near my work that actually will replace the inside of it, and the car charged me $150 to do the whole thing. It took them 10 minutes. Yeah, and I'm happy I've used them before and they're really good. So let's get started with this. Okay, first things first, when putting it back on, these screws here need to come off, because I need to take off my my screen first, and then the plastics around the clocks, I can show you that afterwards, or you will see it once I take off the screen. That needs to come away because there's no space to get your arm through the fairing. My older bike, I could put my arm through the fairing and reach the connection. I can't do that with this bike. So let's start that process off. It's smart to have a container where you can put your screws in, so you don't lose any. Okay, that's all the screws. Screen comes right off. Please find a safe place. I have nightmares of stepping on this thing and smashing it. It's incredibly hard to find the screen for this bike. No idea. It flies away. Oh, let me have crack my head. Okay. So the next step now is to, let me show you. Next step is to remove the plastics around the clocks, so then I can remove the clocks. So screw there, one there, and one there. Once I remove all those, this whole surrounding area of plastics should come off. Let's get started on that. On this bike, there is one screw just in the front here, sort of hidden. Once you get that off, then I will be able to get that plastic cover around the clocks. Always try and take note of these differences in screws. This front one is a particularly long screw. So keep those ones aside that came from parts around the clocks. Should come right out. I've got rubbers around the sides of it, which we can take off. Shoot. Slide it right away now. There we are. That's that part. Now the clocks are completely open. Put that down somewhere safe. Once again, these are 2 screws that's holding it in. I can show you that. There's a screw there, and there's one over there. There's a blue screw. You can even just loosen one and then tilt the camera. Sorry. You can loosen one and then tilt the clocks over so you can actually see the connection on the back of the clocks. Okay. If I can, I'll turn screws that I've taken off back in their housing so I minimize the chances of losing it completely. I can actually show you the cable connection at the back here. It's a bit dark. Don't have much movement with these clocks. But it's this section here. There's a thread here, and the one end of the cable will go in the back. But before I put it in, I've got to make sure I reroute it correctly, so it doesn't bend or anything. If you have a kink in your speedometer cable, it will snap again because there's a cable spinning inside this rubber armored sheath. So the last thing you want is a bend. Yeah, got it connected in. I'm trying to give it a bit of an extra neck to make sure it doesn't, no chances of it vibrating loose. Don't want to turn it too hard because don't want to strip the thread or even damage anything from the clock side. It is a metal thread, but everything else is plastic. So don't want to risk that. Now we'll start putting everything back. The last thing I need to do is just connect it to the front wheel. I'll show you that. But we could probably speed up this process to the end. It's just what I just did now, but in reverse. Okay. Last thing now is to connect the speedo into the reel. Okay, so the connection is just here. The cable will go in there. Hope it lines up nicely.